The power of branding is that you can pass it on to generation after generation. Power of branding is that once you've got it and you maintain it, sky's the limit, because just that one brand, you can create multiple brands for it. So that's the power. It's just like Virgin. Virgin's got the name already. Even business it doesn't even know about. People say, oh, they're going to come to him and say, look, got this business idea. We just want you to put your name on it. And it's cashing out. That is the power of branding.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Need to Succeed podcast. And on this podcast, what we look to do is to get into the mind of successful entrepreneurs and just understand what makes them successful. Because here's the thing, two people can go through the exact same situation. One person decides because of that situation, they can no longer achieve the things that they want to achieve. And the other person decides because of that same situation, they now have to become wildly successful. Same situation, two different outcomes. What is the difference in the mindset? That is exactly what we look to uncover on the Need to Succeed podcast. And today I have an absolutely phenomenal guest, Mr. Dr. Drew Uyi. He is the leading sports and football agent in this country right now. He's got a huge amount of followers because he's doing the right thing. He's inspiring young people who want to get into sport. He's mentoring them and ultimately allowing them to achieve their dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Drew Uyi. It's like you were listening to that intro, you forgot when it was time to cue in.
Yeah, I just want you to do your thing before I jump in.
Amazing, bro. Honestly, it's an absolute pleasure and honor to have you here. First of all, thank you for coming to join us. And I feel like this is going to be a really, really inspiring conversation for the audience. But we have got a tradition on the podcast. There are two set questions, the first and the last one. The last one you're going to find out when we get there. But the first one is, what does success actually mean to you?
Oh, wow. Success means a lot to me. I mean, success for me is about legacy, about inspiring people. Success is all about being comfortable enough to help people around you. Success is for me, building a brand that other people can leash on. Other people can say, yeah, okay, due to your recommendation or due to say, oh, I know him, you open doors for people. Just people knowing you already, knowing you alone, you just open doors and they call you and people will call say, oh, it's because of you I got to where I was going. Is because of you. Your name opened doors for me. So I think for me, success is a good name is more than anything.
That's interesting. I think I definitely resonate with that in terms of like the power of your name and being able, to just create opportunities for other people around you because of the success that you've had.
Exactly.
But that's a really, really interesting component. You actually, and the first person to give the answer was actually only about 5-6 weeks ago. I've been doing this for a good few months now. But that's really, really interesting because I feel like that's a particular type of mindset. Not a lot of people, a lot of people want to help people, but not a lot of people say like success to me is, the opportunity for me to create other opportunities for other people. That takes like a special kind of person, a special kind of mindset. Where do you feel like that comes from?
Basically, I've always been like that from day one. I've been a selfless person, and people have always look up to me. I've always got that responsibility to to help people. Um, for me, it's not just all about myself. It's not all about me being up there. It's about pushing the culture. You see, you know, we have to do different stuff. We all don't have to do the same. We have to branch into, like, for the culture. A lot of people doing music. by the time I branched out into sports, it made a lot of people like, okay, we can do that as well. Yeah, we
Mm.
can follow his footstep. You know, so we have to do things differently.
Amazing, amazing. I love that. Okay, cool. What I'd really like to get into, because what I like to do on this podcast is really understand the journey, from where you are, from where you were, how did you actually start, to where you are today. And hopefully in that journey we can get some lessons for, for the audience who are listening and watching as well. So what would you say if you were to describe yourself back in primary school, for example? How would you describe yourself? Who was Drew?
Oh well, I was born in the UK.
It wasn't that long ago, bro. Come on.
Yeah, obviously. I was born in the UK. I stayed in the UK till I was age 4. Then my parents had to go back to Nigeria. So, my parents finished their education, so they have to go back. So I went back with them. So as soon as I got back, I did a bit of nursery as well. Then went into primary school straight away. So the kind of primary school I went to is like the same social class. Most people came from the UK, and so primary school for me, I think I kind of stand out because
You're a big guy.
I was just, I was a peacemaker.
Mm,
Yeah, I would say it. I've always been a peacemaker. I don't cause trouble. If there's trouble, I try to help my mates. I don't allow people bully people. You
mm.
know, and I was kind of observant of what's happening. I was just a happy guy.
Interesting. I know the type of guy you're talking about. You just, you're friendly with everyone, but when you see someone that's a little bit, you're kind of hanging around with the cool kids.
Mm,
But if you see someone that's trying to take advantage or bully someone, it wasn't something that was quite similar to me actually. I could take care of myself and things like that, and I was hanging around with like the popular, what you call popular kids. This was
mm,
back in Nigeria, right?
yeah.
But when you'd be that guy who would like, nah, come on, boys, like, don't do
No,
that,
no,
man. Like,
no, no, no.
stop it. It's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just
Yeah.
okay, cool. I like that. I respect that. So I know I've kind of got like a good understanding of that. So
Mm,
you moved to Nigeria for how long did you stay in Nigeria for?
I stayed in Nigeria till I was 14. So basically, that period is a period that mowed me a bit because I went into a secondary school a bit. That's where
Mm,
I got, I got into the love for sports.
mm,
And it was a necessity for me because I was saying that they have a lot of, you know, good athletes, sport people, and everything, but they don't. For some reason, because of injustice, when it comes to them going for international competition, they don't reckon with them.
mm,
So that kind of thing, I've always like, been an advocate,
mm.
trying to defend people. Like I've always have a mindset of, oh, I think you're good enough to do this thing. Why are you not doing it? People are hindering you from doing it, or challenges and all that. So that's how I start thinking what I'm going to do in the future.
Amazing. So you went to Nigeria. I left Nigeria 14 as well, so I know
Mm,
exactly what you mean. I think it was actually weird because I think I was already in. I can't remember. I was
mm,
either going into SS1 or I was already finished
yeah,
SS1
around that time.
around about that time.
Yeah,
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 because I was like
just
13,
history.
14 as well. I was
Yeah.
around about that age. So I came here, but then I had to start in year 9 and
Mm,
then obviously did year 10 and year 11. I'm here as well.
mm,
So I know exactly what that transition was kind of like. I mean, for me, I went to an all boys school. Being in Nigeria, you probably get this because I don't understand why I made this decision. But growing up in Nigeria, growing up poor as well,
mm,
like the boarding school were like boys' school, weren't they?
yeah.
The boarding school, all boys.
Mm,
So for some reason, because we couldn't afford to go to those schools,
mm.
I always wanted to go to like a all boys school for some strange reason. So when I came to the UK, my mom, she gave me a choice. Do you want to go to a mixed or an all boys? And for some weird reason, I chose all boys.
Again, to continue.
because, because I thought, oh, all boys, oh, we're rich now. I'm in England now. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
All boys. So,
mm,
when you're poor, the things you can't have is what you want to be able to have. So it was, I wish, obviously, I went to the mixed school now.
mm,
But so that was my initial experience when I came here. But it was pretty cool because I went to a school. The culture shock wasn't that shocking for me
mm,
because I went to a school in Blackheath in
mm,
Lewisham,
mm,
and it was pretty much like 90% black people.
mhm.
So there wasn't that like culture shock when I came here. Even though I know you were here to the age of 4, when you came back at 14, like what was that like for you?
I didn't come. Mine was a bit different. I didn't come back here. I went to Germany,
Oh, you went
and so It's just like how you have a mixed race kid in a Nigerian school. So
Yeah.
I was like instantly, I was like a superstar, And because of Germany, because of their history of being racist, so it was the opposite effect to me. So everybody wanted to show that, oh, we're not
Mm.
racist, and the young people were not actually, they were not really racist. They were like trying to
Interesting.
trying to impress me that there's no racism here. So I
Mm.
got away with a lot of stuff. So in Germany, for me, like because I was young, it took me only 6 months to learn the language,
Wow.
and it was a good life. It was it was a very good life, and because they used to they like the black Americans, the basketballers, and all that.
Mm.
So a lot of people used to like, and I did sports in school as well. I was good in shot puts. Obviously as a strong black man, it was all good, but still, my mind was still back in Nigeria. I was in Germany, but I missed Nigeria a lot because I
Mm.
missed my friends and everything,
Mm.
and I knew that level in sports, and I see that okay, they're not really getting that opportunity, so that's why that brought me to where I am today, to say okay, I think I'm going to be a football agent so I can represent these people.
So you're already thinking that even when you left, you're already thinking you're looking at the levels of the people that you were like not playing with, and you're thinking
Yeah,
like there's so many better people back home. What's going on?
100%. And then when there's Olympics over, like Olympics I watch on TV, when I watch sporting events and I see the people that represent Nigeria, I'll be like, nah, man, they're better talent
I've
than
seen
this guy.
better.
This guy,
Yeah.
I've seen better. I've seen better. Like, there's this particular incident I can't even remember. There was a handball competition, and I didn't watch it, but the German commentator was saying, "Oh, the German team used the Nigerian team to practice." I'd be like, "Hell no!" The secondary school I went to, I've never said this before, because I was I went to like a posh primary school, yeah. But my secondary school, because of the way my trace and everything, my parents wasn't sure.
They flipped it.
They're like, "Nah, we're not gonna allow you carry on like this. You're gonna go and meet your uncle in the school," and that school was a sports school. So I had this opportunity to see guys. There was this goalkeeper that they call him Chester. There's nothing on earth you can't pass that guy. So I was thinking, if this guy would have been representing Nigeria, Nigeria would have done much better than this guy. This is a joke, man. How can you be saying these are the best you can get from Nigeria? So
Mm.
from there, I'll start thinking, okay, you know. And the secondary school is a Dokbolo Grammar School. If you go back to history, most of the on the 17, most of the boys that were playing, they came from that secondary school.
Wow.
They used to like always win the principal cup. They used to. So from there, I used to see that, and I see the dedication. When my parents drop me up in the morning, I see they drop me early. I see people already training. They say they started training like from 6 o'clock.
Wow.
They're already doing the drills. They're like jogging around and everything. We used to like be amazed. So I'll be like, if these guys from this school have the opportunity, they would do better.
Mm.
So that's what really, really channeled my mind to sports.
That's crazy, man. I know exactly what you mean, because sometimes it's weird when I talk about wanting to move back to Nigeria. My cousins, what are you talking about? They don't get it, right? But for me it's just weird because first of all, yeah, I mean, I was really really good at football. I was probably one that could have made it pro if I dedicated myself. By the time I moved to the UK, my life took a different change. I don't know if you've heard a bit about my story. Became homeless, all that sort of things. But cool. But I remember playing football in Nigeria
Mm.
with some boys. What?
It'd be
I
like,
can't touch the ball. And I'm thinking, if I could have made it pro here, this like the level of talent that's back home in Nigeria, and we're playing, you know how it is, but we're playing barefoot on just normal ground, not even paved ground, but the grounds that have got stones coming out of it. Sometimes you go and kick the ball, you miss the ball, you kick your toe into the stone, you bust your toe. You know what's going on, right? So I'm thinking there's so many people with talent playing with so much disadvantages. So I can definitely see how if you've got that that passion just burning inside you, how you can definitely go into becoming like a sports agent, because I just need the opportunities for these guys. I've got the talent.
yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't even participate in any of those things because the level, it was just too high. And the only thing I think we're really lacking there, when it comes to sports in Nigeria, in Africa, is the facilities, the structure. You know, he really needs sport development. If there's a proper sport development in Nigeria where they have the facilities for these people to train, they have the structure, everything on point, nobody can touch.
Why do you think that's not available?
Obviously, you know, uh, I just think we'll get there. But I don't want to be controversial to say the politicians are.
Is that controversial at this stage?
Yeah, but me, I'm more purpose driven. As I said before, I'm not a troublemaker. You will never see me in any controversy. I just like, and obviously because I kind of grew up in like Germany and Switzerland. I'm a more diplomatic person. It's a call me diplomatic Drew. So I'd rather, a lot of people, because of my position, they'll be like, oh, they want to come at me like, oh, we got nothing to lose. You got the one to lose. You got the more followers and all that. I just look at them. I just shy away. But I know a lot of people are not going to take that. I'm not a pushover, but I look at them that, don't worry about it. I know where I'm going. I'm purpose driven.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for the culture. I'm doing this for my people. There's the same thing. There's the same thing I did in the entertainment. I'll be honest with you. What I'm doing today, the game chose me. It's not over me. Because by the time I graduated, because, okay, if I want to say, just to like, because obviously this podcast is going to be watched by a lot of young people. Yeah, I always knew that I always wanted to be a football agent. But by the time I finished my secondary school and all that, there was no course like sports management. There was no sport tailored for that. But I had to wait a year or two for it to be available from London Metropolitan University. And in the London Metropolitan University, we were the first set. So before then, I had to go to, University of the Arts, which is in Elephant and Castle, to do, like pre-degree, like, foundation in marketing and advertising.
Nice.
So that that marketing, because I know that I would need that to market players,
Yeah.
to advertise players. That's why I'm kind of different. People just see me like it's more of a 360. So when the course became available, I then did a degree course in sports and events management, because I did double combined. By the time I graduated, people were just on my case, and I was supposed, because London Metropolitan University is next door to Arsenal. I was supposed to work for Arsenal, but I just want to work for myself. And I've always had that mindset of an entrepreneur. And people in the entertainment industry, they be like, people were fighting over me, like, oh, manage me. I want you to be. I didn't say I want to manage anybody. But they just see that this guy, the way this guy move, the way he does things, because I was, into concert, entertainment, and all that. So the artists that come from Nigeria, then they'll be like, I want you to be my international manager. That's where numerous people from artists, comedians, I used to represent them.
Oh, interesting. So you actually went into that space first.
First, because reason being, it's not. I wasn't distracted. I wanted to be a football agent, but then the barriers were very high. You couldn't, because people just see football agency like it's not
Easy money.
It's not easy money. It's not a straightforward thing, because mostly it's a family business. The agents, the big agents, was okay. They keep it. It's a very close and tight community. You can't just come in like that from nowhere, because it's most people that are in it is like it's either uh, people get into it by, okay, maybe the family member is an athlete, they manage them, and then most times they have the main man, and he brings in his son-in-law, he brings his younger brother, brings his niece and all that. So it's not open for everyone. So then I tried a few agency, they're not ready, but at the same time, for you to get a license there, you need to do an exam, you need to do something. It was just too much. So while I was waiting, okay, I'll get my chance. The entertainment industry just got me in. I don't regret it, because no knowledge is wasted. No knowledge is,
100%.
because what I've learned from there, that's what's made me who I am today.
Absolutely.
A lot of young cats, they come to me like, oh, uncle, Uncle Drew, Dr. Drew, like, how did you get so much followers?
Mm.
How did you get so much relevance? How did you have so much presence? How come you're this successful? I'd be like, listen, you know how many tours I've been to? You know
Mm.
how many artists I've gone to tour with, like Europe tour, American tour, whereby any city you go to, you get people follow you because the algorithm changes. Like for
Mm.
instance, yeah, like in 2015, then one of my first tour was with LAX. LAX is used to be with Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey was on that tour as well. We did two cities with Whiskey. We did about 20 cities. So from the Scandinavia to the Mediterranean, we went to every city. In some like in Germany, we go to like four cities. So, but any city you go to, you meet up people there, and they see that there's some artists in town. They look at the artists' followers, who are with the artists, and they
Mm-hmm.
start getting all these followers. Things were
Mm.
different there. So I got a lot of, I learned a lot from managing artists, and talent
Interesting.
is talent.
100%. And once you get to a certain level, once you're managing, someone like Wizkid,
Mm,
then it- like the same skill set, I would imagine, is
mm.
something that you can easily transfer over to any industry. If you're managing someone, you kind of understand, how to
No,
do that
obviously, so
effectively.
so as a tour manager for that tour, you know, we met Whiskey in two cities. Whiskey was impressed, like, okay, this is a new artist I'm working with. He got barely like two songs. LAS has got what do you call it? That Ginger or Ginger, that Ginger was a hit and
Hmm.
one of the songs. So Whiskey didn't even think that it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. We'll make it happen. And then boom, was a success. It was a success and Whiskey shows appreciation. And we move to the next. So from there, managing comedians, I've worked with the biggest, you know, working with AY, got
Yeah.
a lot of I learned a lot from AY
Yeah.
because AY is about the brand.
Yes.
And his brand, when I talk about success, is super successful because he's done well in the comedy, done well in the movies,
Hmm.
done well in stand-ups, you know, so basically done well in events.
Basically creating his own media empire now, isn't he?
So, it's the history. And I'm writing a book. I'm going to write about, you know, my working with the top people,
Yeah.
like people like AY, people like P Square, people
Mm.
like, I've worked with people that are kings in their own industry,
Mm,
like
mm,
people
mm.
like Tunde Ednot.
These are big names.
Tunde Ednot is the biggest is the biggest in like Africa now.
Hmm.
Although he doesn't like that's the industry. He's a blogger. He doesn't like people call him blogger. He like people call him entertainer.
Yeah.
I spotted it from day one. Going on in my book, I'm going to write about Tunde Ednot as well.
Nice.
This is a guy that has got like over 2 billion tractions, like on
Mm.
a monthly.
What?
You can't even touch him when he Tunde Ednot have made so many. They call him the
The
kingmaker
kingmaker.
because once he posts you on his page, done, you're gone.
Nice.
People like the biggest content creators in Nigeria now. They owe their success to him. People like Brother Shaggy,
Mm.
people like Mr. Funny. This is just numerous. The guy have
Nice.
made so many,
Nice.
so many multi-millionaires.
Mm.
Millionaires in dollars. You
Why?
know,
Why was it? Because you mentioned something about learning from AY, and you said AY was very particular about his brand. Like, what was the power of branding?
the power of branding is that you can pass it on to generation after generation. Like the power of branding is that once you've got it and you maintain it, you know, sky's the limit because that one brand, you can create multiple brand for it. So that's the power. It's just like Virgin.
Mm.
Virgin's got the name already. Even business he doesn't even know about. People say, oh, they're gonna come to him and say, look, we've got this business idea. We just want you to put your name on it,
Mm.
and he's cashing out. That is the power of branding. So
Mm.
I saw it firsthand with AY. You know, AY coming. Okay, he's got two brothers. He's got sisters. So the way he did it is that he's got his wife. Yeah, he built this empire. So the power of his brand is that he used his brand to help his wife. His wife went into interior decoration, like interior decoration and building. So with that is one brand. When he put his wife on, people get to see the wife's interior and all that, because you can, as I say in the marketing, any soap, any food can make a soap, but it take a wise man to market it, to sell it.
Mm.
So a lot of people are doing interior in Nigeria, but when you then come on that platform, a brand is a strong brand. The powerful brand is a platform. You know, he then brought his wife on the platform. People then go to the wife to do interior. Then his younger brother, you know, he said, okay, he packaged him. Okay, you go into events. You're gonna be the event guy that will be doing all the events for all the comedians and everything. He put the brother on. The brother's doing extremely well in events, managing events,
Mm.
producing events,
Mm.
rather. Then the brother's other younger brother, okay, what you gonna do? You're into fashion. We're gonna build your fashion brand. I'm gonna put you. I've, I'm there already. I'm gonna put you on, and you're gonna be best. So boom, that one fashion went. One of the biggest fashion designer in Nigeria right now,
Wow.
Yomi. That one is going. That's my boy as well. Then he said, okay. Then it doesn't even stop there. Then the brothers then got married. They said, okay, what's your wife doing? Your wife is doing what do you call it? Hairdressing. Okay, we'll put your wife's hairdressing on. Your wife is doing cosmetics. Like your wife is doing all these cream, cosmetics, and all that. We'll put it on. Boom. That one went boom again. Then
Mm.
the next one is, oh, Yomi, you got married as well. What's your wife doing? Jewelries, cosmetic jewelries and all that. Okay, we're gonna put her on. So it just, because he's got, if people wonder, like, people don't wonder. I got a million followers, but the people I work with, they got 12 million. I work with AY, is the biggest
Mm.
comedian. Take it or leave it. He's got 12 million followers. Then what's his name? P Square that I've worked with. It's got 12 million. So if I've got, what am I getting from those people? If they're always posting me on their story, they're posting me
Mm.
anything, any activities to post. Actually, I managed AY for 5 years internationally. I'm still working with him, but it will rub off. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And I when I work with people, I put my heart into it.
Mm.
So people trying to say, oh, no, they'll be like, Drew's safe, man.
That's amazing,
It's a
bro.
competitive industry.
And why? Yeah, because that's interesting. You're going into a very very competitive industry when really at the time it wasn't really an industry, right?
Mm.
So why did you have the courage to turn down and ask no position to go and do this for yourself?
Funny enough, it wasn't even me. It's the people around you. I have a lecturer then. Yeah, it was a Jamaican guy. He always look at my stuff. Because I was that kind of, I wasn't your average student. I was that student that, you know, in summer I'm in the States already.
Mm.
I'm in America doing shopping, bringing stuff down. I've always have, doing my thing, you know, like clothing, there's like not the footballs like the Sean John, some kind of, those American
Yeah, I
clothing,
remember. Yeah, yeah, I
you
know what
know.
you're talking about. Yeah.
I used to bring them down when I was at uni.
Mm-hmm.
So this Jamaican lecturer used to give me like, Drew, you're safe and all that. And then I told him about it. I'm gonna work with us. I said, don't worry, just go and do your own thing. Don't even bother. There's a salary thing. It's a risky because once you go out of university, they protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get out of university, like, woo, you're on your own.
Big bad world.
So he said, come on, go and do your own thing. So from there, I started doing, and then people started embracing me.
But yeah, but still, I mean, I know this for sure because I'm always banging onto people to go and be entrepreneurs instead of working in 9 to 5, right? But not everyone is taking me up on this offer. So it still takes a certain person to take you up
Mm,
on that. What gave you that confidence? Forget what your lecturer was saying.
mm.
What gave you the confidence that you could actually go out there and make it happen?
I think it was just that there was a void there, yeah, and I'm always purpose driven, yeah. So by the time I graduated that same year, I did the first basketball show in the UK. But people gonna be like, oh yeah. After then, he then came back to be doing basketball show. But then it was Laugh and Jam,
Mm-hmm.
Laughs and Jam. So we did it in Ties in Woolwich.
Hmm.
Then, so after that, it would just keep on coming. events was just coming. I was just, the way, like, Smade.
Yep.
Yeah, Smade was one of the guys that was working with me then on that particular show. He was very resourceful, was very helpful. Drew, what do you want? Oh, let's get this artist, let's get that. Now he's gone to do Afro Nation,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is that he knows, I know, you know, how we roll and everything. So that's why I still get my respect from these people. So then, even Whiskey main guy now, which is that is always with him, his closest ally, Dombazi.
Mm-hmm.
Dombazi, he works with he works with Smade as well. Remember one time I went to Nigeria before anybody even knew about Whiskey here. I was already pushing Whiskey. The guy took me to Whiskey in the beach, Legoshi Beach. He'd be like, Drew's here. Drew is here. Like, Whiskey, like, yeah. He said, this is the guy that made us know about you in the UK. He was the first guy that posted a picture in the UK on Facebook, you know. Whiskey, okay, yeah, thanks, or whatever. Yeah. So I've,
Whiskey, that's crazy. He must have been a young kid then.
yeah, so it's been a situation whereby the industry chose me. The culture, like, okay,
Yeah.
there was a void there. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to be the guy in the UK that will represent the artists, that will represent the comedians, the talent that's going to push it to the world. You know,
Yeah.
so we don't like blowing our own trumpet. We know what we've done for the industry,
Yeah.
and then people like the thing is that people were shocked when I switched to sport,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't know I already got that background already. So you have to lay a foundation. You see, it's what you do in the past that's going to help you in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate it to a lot of people. So
That's really interesting. So that actually makes a lot of sense because even before you finished uni, you'd already organized some things for some up and coming names. So you knew if you just leaned into that you could actually build something
yes.
from it. Yeah, cool. And then how did you transition back into sport, back to the real love?
Yeah, my first love.
Your first love.
That's right. Yeah. I like the way you, like you said. Yeah, yeah. So when I was doing the the entertainment thing, I do consultation for Ben TV. The One African Music Fest. I was the main guy. The One African Music Fest.
Yeah.
We started all these massive venues and everything. So when we see Burna Boy doing the West Ham Stadium, we're like, yeah, cool.
That's crazy. Have you seen this what is it? On Netflix now. It's called Afrobeats.
Yeah, Afrobeat.
You've
Yeah,
seen that documentary?
that's my
All
boy.
those boys. Were you with those boys
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that
of
time?
course.
Yeah.
Aya Shona, yeah. They just shot something now.
Yeah.
They invited me, but I'm still gonna catch up with them. I was there, say because
Wow.
I was working and I was consulting for Ben TV. So in as much I was still indirectly managing Femi Ben TV. Femi Ben TV was the head of entertainment there.
Yeah.
And then Ben TV, all the shows was coming through Ben TV. So I used to consult, I used to manage the shows and everything, likes of the Timaya, Two Face, most of the show was coming through Ben TV. So we're doing that. So then the One African Music Fest, we did the first show 2016 in New York, in the Barclays Center in New York. That was 20,000 capacity.
Wow.
That was the first ever, the biggest Afrobeat show.
Massive.
Whiskey was on that. What's the name? Flavor. Davido. The Pisco wasn't there because I think that was when Pisco was having the label issues.
That
So
makes sense.
all the top artists, as I said, Whiskey, Davido, Don Jazzy, Simaya, all them. So we used to.
It was that like because you had the original crop like them Tuba Baz and all those guys.
Yes.
But this ones you're talking about is like that crop that came after them.
That came after them, yeah. But even before then, we've done the Tuba Bar, the Tuba Bar concert already in London.
Nice.
Done was at his wedding in what's it called in Dubai. So that was my first visit to Dubai. That was when Tuba got married, and then the One African Music Fest. The One African Music Fest was London. Sorry, it started in America. Started in New York. From New York, we did Houston. and then back to London and Dubai. So the main three cities was New York, London, and Dubai.
Wow.
So doing that until COVID. But now One Africa Fest is coming to UK in August now, August 4th. So it's gonna be back, in the Cocoa Bar. So it's gonna make it more compact.
Nice.
You have people like we're gonna bring back of the old school like One Deco is gonna be on that.
One
One
Deco.
Deco, Nice is gonna be on that. Donka Mighty, a few artists are gonna be on that. So
Mm-hmm.
from there, so this Afro Nation of a thing, after the One Africa Fest, that's when Afro Nation then was born,
Mm-hmm.
and then we keep supporting. So the question is that how did I move from uh, the entertainment back into sport?
Mm-hmm.
The entertainment was, I won't say saturated with people. There was too many of us there, too many people. I've seen that. I've done my own bits.
Mm.
He cannot run himself. The people like Shockbear was doing great there. Smade, the Cocoa Bar. Like they love people like in there now doing it. So he was more or less running himself. So I then said, okay, and the culture is bigger than just entertainment. Fashion is there, the movies is there, everything's there, and sport is there as well. And I then saw that okay, our athletes, the footballers are there, but most of them are just focusing on the sport. They don't have this person, they don't have this. There's no. I just said there was no ecosystem. That support team that will make them do all the stuff apart from just playing the football. It's
Mm.
beyond playing the football. Talent can give you only 10% of your income. You can
Mm-hmm.
make another 90% from when
Mm.
you've built that brand, from your football
Mm.
brand. You can make another 90%. Believe it or not. There's an example. Even if what's the name? Kanye West is not a footballer, but with Adidas, he made 90% of what
Billions. Yeah.
he
Yeah.
made from his music.
Yeah.
The music only gave him about 100 million,
Yeah.
150 million. But he became a billionaire
Mm-hmm.
from what he harnessed from his brand.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, if an artist can do that, it's just like Davido now. Look at what Davido is doing with Puma.
Mm.
You know, Davido is very good in that. Any brand he works with, is just beyond. That's why he's my favorite artist. I don't
Mm.
care what people say about him, because I see where it's coming from.
Yeah.
He's using the American blueprint.
His moves different. Yeah.
That's me. I've been to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up in Germany, I grew up with Americans. I know the way they think. It's beyond just the ordinary, So I just say, okay, if people like Davido can, you know, work with Puma and do successfully well with it, why, what's the reason? What's stopping footballers from doing it?
Mm.
So I started, in my page, I started educating people about take your brand seriously, because your career, you know, you know, is it has a chef, like how do you say it has
He has a shelf life.
it has a chef life. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's gonna be a time that's gonna okay, that's it. You're gonna hang your boots. By the time you hang your boots, you should have something that you move on to. So if you build your brand properly, you can live on that and for the rest of your
Mm.
life. So that's why I started
Wow.
educating people.
Powerful, man. And that's how you obviously then moved into sport. So what happened? What people just started reaching out to you and saying, "Well, actually, can you help me
Yeah,
do this stuff?"
people
Yeah.
people reach out to me. You know, I don't because with the football industry, it's quite discreet.
Mm.
You don't want to say people that I've helped. A lot of people, and then what really makes me happy is, but that's kind of my satisfaction is when a footballer's wife hit me up
Mm.
and said, "Oh, please, can you help my husband?" Because they're so focused
Mm.
on and I like when football, like their partner or their dad or their guardians, say reach out to me like, oh, we see what you do, we like what you do. How can you help?
Mm.
I'm like, okay, why not? That's why I'm here. I'm purpose driven. I'm here for my people.
That's
You
powerful.
know, I've got an opportunity to work with people that are not in my community, but
Mm.
I've kind of turned it down.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, because everybody, it depends on what you want to do. I just feel that my people need me. You know what I'm saying? It's not like business is business. I don't turn that. It's not like I'm turning down money. But I think that my people need this more than.
There's nothing wrong with that too, but I respect that. I respect that a lot because it's like, okay, cool. Like this is my purpose. Like you said, I'm purpose driven, and if this is my purpose, I want to create some level of parity, and I'm gonna do that by elevating, these people. So bro, I love that, man.
No, just to chip in, yeah. I think the Africans would need the branding more than any other person
Yes.
because they're the one that needs the money. Because if you say, like, for instance, I just say like a Caucasian player, like a white player now, it's just him, his wife, and his kids. He doesn't have no extended family, and they don't even expect anything from him. Per se, he's just him. Maybe we don't. White people don't really do cousins. They don't do bet. Once an African player make it, if you're African player, you have the whole community, your whole village,
the village,
your whole village. So it's very important for you to have, multiple source of income because the money you're making for football won't be enough for you and your family. And if not, people are, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. You can't even go back home. You go back home, everybody's on your neck. So it's important you build your brand. It's just like AY now. AY built his brand. He has a platform. He doesn't necessarily have to give his brothers. His brothers are the one that say, "Oh, bro, we've made so much money." They'll be like, they can call him, "Happy Father's Day. Bring your account." So, no hands out, no handouts. Like to give to your community and all that. Build a brand and say, okay, build a factory, let them come and work. But you know what? It's just like Akon.
Wow.
Akon, with his brand, he got a credit line from China.
Crazy, bro.
So if you have a brand, you can have a credit line. You can build a factory without a dime. People say, okay, because you got the name, you ain't going nowhere. No, that for argument's sake, if you have a player that plays in Italy, yeah, he signed a 5 years contract. The people know he ain't going nowhere. They can give him a credit line for whatever product. Take it back home. You got a market. You just instead of you got a market, they give you a credit line and you take it there, and your people can
Do something.
Can do something with it. Instead of everybody depending on your salary. So as I say, the African athletes, they need to build their brand more than any other people.
Wow.
Simple, because people are expecting so much from them.
Wow.
They have to give too much out. So if they don't do that, if they don't build their brand to have multiple income stream, they're gonna be broke. As simple as that.
Yeah. Wow, man, I couldn't agree more, and that's very, very powerful, and I love that you're doing that, and keep doing it because even if we take Africans out of it, I know that's your goal, that's your intention, but if we take Africans out of it, sports people in general are very, very bad at this part of their business. Not even just the brand, but in terms of managing money, where a sports person, someone could earn like Mike Tyson hundreds of millions in their career and end up being broke. How is this possible, right? So it's about needing the right management with them, the right people to guide them and say, okay, hey, here's what you need to do.
A team instead of groupies.
Yes.
Instead of hangers on and all that, you need a team around you, a team that have the right vision, that knows, what the game plan is, and they can work with it. And talking about Mike Tyson, if there was no social media, Mike Tyson would be dead broke now.
Done.
He'll be done.
I mean, what he's done to his career, fair play, but it's branding.
Yeah.
He's rebranded himself. He's realized
you can only rebrand yourself on a cheap with social media. If he was going to be rebranding himself, there was no social media. How much do you think he's going to spend on TV? It was not possible. Nobody. There's going to be that barrier. When you bring, Mike Tyson want to come, we don't really need him.
Yeah.
But with social media, nobody can. There's no barriers, and then opportunities have gone up, and the budget has gone down. So you don't need for you to brand yourself to go on. The branding, it's all about visibility, putting yourself on the media, which is the old media, TV, newspaper. But for the new media, you don't need to pay no one. You just need to
Mm.
build it, and then
Wow.
you know. So
Powerful, bro. Powerful. Honestly, I feel like I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in this conversation. Really, really interesting. But coming on to the final question now, because just kind of looking at your career, bro, like you've done a lot. You've done a lot for African culture. You've done a lot. You've worked with the best of them. You've, helped people kind of build their careers to really what it is now. Because if you look at, Afrobeats,
mm,
we can just say Afrobeats and anyone listening to this podcast knows what it is.
mm.
Bro, that wasn't that 10 years ago. No one knew what Afrobeats was 10 years ago. Like, what's Afrobeats, right? So,
when when I came to London, yeah, most of the guys that jumped into Afrobeat now they were doing reggae. They never,
100%.
they wouldn't want to even
Or
identify.
rapping.
When I used to come visiting, they don't want to even identify with African music. You know, we're one of the first people that okay, yeah, that support system. You know, we from nothing, as you said, from where there was no industry.
Mm.
You know, we built, we built an industry there whereby, you know, there was a there was a kind of an ecosystem. So okay, you do this. People know that okay, if I come to London, okay, if I want to go, if I want to do my press runs, I probably have to call Drew. Okay, if I come, if I want to do flyers, Drew can direct me to the guys that's gonna do it. These things we're doing it, yeah, we're getting paid, but not as like people getting paid today. You know,
Mm.
then there was even not the social media was just coming up,
Mm-hmm.
but nowadays, obviously, if you do stuff, you get paid, and then you still get the recognition, you
Mm.
know. And then AY was one of the first, you know, talent from Nigeria that used to put people on. Everybody that works with him, he will give them a special shout out on his page. Imagine that.
That's powerful.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about branding, people always ask me about branding. Branding is simple. Branding is branding is just it's just a trendy word. Branding is nothing but right attitude. It's about attitude. It's about the good attitude. That is what branding is. Maintaining that good attitude. So branding is give and take.
Mm.
You know, I can stay here and talk about AY all day long because I've worked with other people that didn't even give a toss. Like, okay, you've helped me, I've paid you your money, you go. But AY will go that extra mile, like, okay, I'll put you on. I'll put you on my page. I'm gonna let people know that you are the guy that made it happen.
Powerful.
What's bigger than that?
Powerful.
Even if you get paid for what you did,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you still get that extra to say, yeah,
Which is worth actually more because in the long run, like you said, you build your following, you build your own brand,
you build
then
your
you
own
get
brand.
your own voice, and now you start to obviously generate even more of an income than what you got paid for that one gig. So
So that's why me talking about AY now, I'm still building his brand because he built my brand. I built his
absolutely,
brand. I like, yeah, without a doubt, he's the biggest comedian in Nigeria.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so
I love that, man. Okay, cool. So to wrap this up, then, like I said, you've done all of these amazing things. So the final question of the podcast is now, as we sit here today, what remains your need to succeed?
what no, like so what's the question again? Let me
So basically, the question is, with everything that you've done,
yes.
when you actually really think about it, you've done a lot. For the culture, you've helped establish a lot of these brands. These people who we now know, and we take them as household names. You've now moved into, the sports arena. You're now helping people actually achieve their dreams before they come into sports, and actually creating life for them after sports as well.
Yeah.
So now you've achieved all of these things. What remains your need to succeed?
What's next? I mean, to be very honest with you, I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man. Done that. Don't know what I need to do, but still, for me, as I said before, we go into the studio. For me, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Mm.
You know, is to is to is to like really really you know create something that we can live that can outlive us, that can outlive me. Like whenever we're like, okay, yeah, these are the people that create a path for us. You know, I've seen a lot of people call me like they're into catering, into this. Bro, it's your boldness that made us think we can do it. You know, I've inspired a lot of people. It's to continue inspiring people, different sectors, barbers. It doesn't need to be, you know, people that's got talent. You know, everybody's got talent, but maximize it. You know what I'm saying? There was a lady in Nigeria. She called me. She used to have, she used to have like a takeaway and all that. From there, when she was looking at what I'm doing, she then went into like catering, where for events, and she cater for the biggest events now. If I call the states, you know that she's like so happy when she sees me. She's so excited, like, and it's all about documentation. What is branding? It's telling your stories. So whenever she does something, she documents it, and she go and talk. They give referral, so and that is what she saw from what I was doing, and said I can do it too, and it's going to be the biggest in our own field. And I see things like that. I'm happy. So it's all about creating something that will outlive us, not just. It's not about for us, so that my kids will say, "Oh, when my kids go, even now, kids say, oh, so my dad, oh, you sure? You sure that's oh my days, I want to be like my kids will be like, I want my name to open doors for my kids. I want my name to open doors for my, for people that's associated with me.
Amazing. Wow. 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 Dr. Drew Uye, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.